Good afternoon and welcome to the Social Brief. Actually, I'm very excited because this is our first edition, and going forward we are looking to doing something great. And also, today being our first edition, today is my birthday, so I'm very excited to have you on board. Remember to subscribe, check us through. We'll be updating you each and every day, Monday to Friday, on what's going on our social media platforms. Let's start with a story that is actually too familiar, but it's not a good story because we are in the midst of a pandemic, and our heroes are not police with guns, they are not our politicians, but they are our doctors. And I expect in such times our doctors to be treated in not just a respectful manner, but with decorum, with what they deserve, because they are the real heroes. They are saving lives and doing a great job. But it seems our government gives little or no consideration to them at all. Because today, in the midst of this pandemic, doctors at the Kenyatta National Hospital have demonstrated. They have put their tools down and they are saying we need to be heard. The management at the hospital cancelled contracts of 40 doctors. 40 doctors. Now, the doctors were in support of their colleagues. They wanted their colleagues to be reinstated. But the government again came in, and you know what? The top officials of KMPDU were arrested. And now the doctors at KNH have said they will be striking each and every Wednesday until justice is done. I think arresting doctors will not solve the problem. It will make them more agitated. Actually, it will make them bold to claim what is theirs. The government has received a lot of money to deal with coronavirus. Again, they have received loans, grants, and everything. And I think they should give greater consideration towards healthcare. But the money is going elsewhere. You are arresting doctors, you are cancelling their contracts, you are dismissing others. You know, it's getting ugly. And actually, I feel so sad because at the end of the day, we, the common citizens, we are the ones who suffer. At the end of the day, we are the ones who pay the ultimate price. So I really think this government has upside down, misplaced priorities. You probably saw this video.
Wakati nilikuwa Uganda karibu mwezi moja hivi iliyopita, rais wa nchi hiyo alinikaribisha niende ni fungue mahali ambapo vaccines ya corona inatengenezwa na vaccines zingine. Kwa sababu gani? Yule mwegezaji wa pale wa hiyo kiwanda alikuja kwa ofisi hii mahali wewe umeketi karibu miaka 2 iliyopita. Akaniuliza, tafadhali natafuta vile naweza kupatana na Equity Bank kwa sababu nataka wanisaidie kufanya ile coordination ya vile nitapata pesa ya kuegeza. Mimi nikachukua simu, nikapigia simu Equity Bank, nikawaambia kuna mmoja wetu wa kutoka East Africa aliye hapa. Mko na branch Uganda. Msaidieni huyu mtu kama anaweza kufanya hiyo biashara anatafuta. Unanielewa? So wakati sasa huyo mtu alifaulu, akapata pesa shilingi bilioni 15 za Kenya. 150 million US dollars. Akaenda akajenga hiyo kiwanda. Sasa makosa iko wapi? Akiniuliza niende katika hiyo kazi ambayo kwa bahati sikujua. Kwa bahati nilimsaidia kwa simu moja tu.
Early last month, while the Deputy President was trying to fly out of the country, he was denied access. And one of the members that was flying out with the Deputy President is a Turkish businessman, Harun Aydin. Now, the Deputy President was put to task to explain his relationship with this businessman because the government said this businessman was a terrorist. These claims from the DP raised a lot of questions. How can somebody be able to acquire a 15 billion loan? Mind you, it's 15 billion loan through a phone call. You know, many people raised questions. And today, Equity manager was summoned by the parliament to explain how could someone be able to secure a 15 billion loan over a phone call. And he distanced himself and the institution very much from this allegation. The MD said they do not have any financial relation with the Turkish businessman. And he also said they did not receive any phone call from the DP. Now, as we get towards the election, expect things to be ugly. And if it's for real that the DP did not make a phone call to Equity, is it that he wants to show his power or might, or he wants to deceive people so that for political gains? I don't get why one would lie that he offered assistance. And if he lied, there's a reason behind it. There's something that he did not want to reveal. That being said, what is on the table now is that Equity have denied receiving a phone call from the DP and offering the 15 million loan. They say they did not have any relationship whatsoever with the businessman. The man I've known all my life for sitting on the fence and trying to play safe, it seems he has finally found a place to land. Today, Kalonzo Musyoka was summoned at the DCI headquarters. There was an allegations of grabbing a land belonging to NYS. It is claimed Kalonzo used his power while he was a minister to illegally acquire the land. Now, it seems being in politics, having dirty hands is a requirement. Washing and sanitizing is not required in politics. Talking of police brutality in this country, it gets worse day by day. Each day you hear of police killing young men. And today in Kahawa West, the police have shot another young man. What transpired was so sad because traders came in the morning and found their stalls all flattened. Now the traders, in trying to express their dissatisfaction, they demonstrated. Police came in and now they shot the young man dead. This is not the first time we are hearing of police shooting young people. Because last week in Kayole, police arrested a young man. He was again found dead the next morning. Previously, 2 weeks in Embu, police killed 2 young boys, the Kiamakonja brothers. Now, people in Embu were so dissatisfied. They went to the streets to demonstrate. And again, during the demonstration, police killed another young man, demonstrating the death of these 2 brothers. It's so sad that sometimes I tend to think of the Kenyan police as a militia, because you can't know when to run to them and when to run from them. They are becoming like an organized criminal gang. Every day you hear of police killing young people, police arresting young people with no good reason, police killing their lovers. It's getting worse day by day. And I tend to think something should be done. Because if the case of Kiamakonja brothers, 6 police officers were arraigned in court, I think it was just a reaction because most people were sad and the news was everywhere. But for real change to come, it should be systematic. We should look at where we go wrong, from the training, recruiting, and get the force into shape. Because young people are dying, the police are becoming, I can term them as, quote, notorious. Because each and every day does not pass without hearing police have done something bad. Police have killed youth. And it's getting really ugly. So police again have killed a young man in Kahawa West. It's so sad, and we don't know how tomorrow looks like, but we tend to believe that something should be done for this to stop. Now, these comments about an imperial president made by the deputy president made Kenyans on Twitter to go back some lens of memories to remind the deputy president about an imperial president. If you have to understand it, you will have to go back until 1992. By then, Kanu was the only party in Kenya. It was the only party. They used to say chama cha baba na mama. Then there was a multi-party elections that was oncoming. So Kanu formed a youth wing. That is, they termed it Youth for Kanu 92. That is connoted as YK92. Now, the youth wing was to have vibrance. It was to mobilize across the whole nation. And it was to have very vibrant youth. So they identified two people. One of them was the deputy president, the now deputy president, William RUTO. The other one was Cyrus Jirongo, once a very powerful person in Kanu government. So they identified these two people to run YK92, which was to propel the agendas of Kanu. Now, the DP is saying that he spent 30 years fighting an imperial president. Really, we have to check, is it really true he fought an imperial president? Who is an imperial president? An imperial president, I think, is someone who is very powerful. He's a president who is very powerful. His word is like the law. And by then, you couldn't describe Moi as something else other than an imperial president. Moi is and was the classical example of an imperial president. Now, the DP says they spent like 30 years fighting an imperial president. But the opposite is true. They spent like 30 years supporting an imperial president through what was then known as YK92. It was very powerful because it was funded by the government. They used to, in terms of the financial muscles, one could not tussle with YK92 because they were funded by Kanu. And it is claimed that they printed money in excess, 500 shilling notes, and they used to give everywhere they went to mobilize for Kanu. That's where the name Jirongo came. Actually, Jirongo is a Western dialect that means 500 shilling note. So Kenyans on Twitter took it upon themselves to remind the DP that he was a member, a very strong member of YK92, and he supported an imperial president, something that he's saying he didn't do. Okay, then you can see in the midst of all that trends Oscar Sudi. Actually, the trend had some degree of satire because by then Oscar Sudi was not in the picture. Oscar Sudi was a nobody. I guess he was still a tout somewhere. So they are trying to picture Oscar Sudi, who is now a defender of the DP, and they're saying, you know, Oscar Sudi, here is Oscar Sudi fighting for an imperial president. Here is Oscar Sudi being jailed because of, and of which is satire, because Oscar Sudi was not in the picture. By then, I guess Raila Odinga, they were jailed because of fighting now. They were the real fighters. We have JM Kariuki, and people like those ones are the real people who fought an imperial president. That is it. I'm happy because it has taken me some memories, like some lens back into what happened to this beautiful nation of ours. Actually, I'm very happy having you today. That's what we have prepared for you. I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you've learned something new. Remember to subscribe and remember to follow us so that each and every time we get our episode out, you are the first one, you're among the first people to get informed. That is it for today. Until tomorrow, have a nice time.